Hello, this is Dave. I've got another game here. This is English opening. I played it on the Fritz chess server, or playchess.com. The ECO code will be A40. I'm playing white. And we're going to be looking at space advantage, forming a plan, square weaknesses, and reacting to a threat. So let's get started. I played C4, G6, knight to C3, bishop to G7, D4. I kind of got out of my normal English opening here. I decided to switch more to like a King's Indian or whatever else would come up in this particular opening. Play C5, which kind of looks like a Benoni possibly. I played D5. He plays bishop takes C3, which I believe was an unnecessary capture. And I recapture with B takes C3. As you can see, I've colored the dark squares on black's king side. These squares will all be weak now because black has exchanged his dark squared bishop. I hope to take advantage of this later in the game, and let's see how things progress. Black played queen to A5. I played queen to C2, protecting my pawn. D6 and E4, expanding in the center. Black plays knight F6, bishop to D3, E6, and I played knight to E2 with the idea of playing F2 to F4. My opponent played E takes D5, and I played C takes D5. This is pretty well a Benoni type setup, except that black has already exchanged his dark squared bishop. And one thing about Benoni, you see that black has 4 pawns to white's 2, or 3 actually. It'd be like a 4 pawn to 3 pawn advantage on the queen side, and this is where black will most probably try to play. It'll be on the queen side. Or you could say it was a 3 pawn to 2 pawn advantage, however you want to look at it. Okay, black castles. I played bishop to D2, rook to E8, and now I castled. Black played bishop to G4, and now I played C4, queen to C7, and now I made an error here. I played F4. Sticking to my plan instead of taking a little time to see what the consequences of it was. Luckily, my opponent did not play bishop takes E2, bishop takes E2, and knight takes E4, and black would have won a pawn and he would have had the advantage. Luckily for me, he played, instead of after F4, he played knight takes E4, bishop takes E4, bishop takes E2, and rook to F to E1, taking advantage of the E-file here. Black retreats his bishop, and now I played bishop to C3. And here I wanted to take advantage of the weakness of the dark squares, but I made a mistake. This is it was a good idea, but it didn't fit the situation on the board. A much better plan would have been using my advantage of the E-file, and I should have played bishop takes G6. My good friend Fritz, the computer, found this for me after the game, and I put it in my memory bank, and I'll remember it next time. Anyway, black plays rook takes E1, rook takes E1, F takes G6, and now rook to E8 check. And I have a very strong attack. I've got a queen that I can bring into play along with my bishop. My opponent, black, still has 2 pieces undeveloped. So in effect, I've got 3 pieces versus 2. And his king is exposed, so I should have a nice advantage there. But back to the game. He played bishop to G4, and like I said, I played bishop to C3. Game continued with knight to D7, queen to F2, queen to D8, and now F5. And black played knight to F6, which sets up a very strong attack by white. And now this is where I was talking about reacting to a threat. Black attacks my bishop, and I don't want to lose my bishop, so I retreated it to c2. But if I would have kept my eyes open, instead of reacting to the threat, I should have looked for a counter threat. I should have played, we go back, f6, I should have played f takes g6, exposing my bishop and queen on an attack on the knight, which is only defended by the queen. Whoops. Oh, I got it all messed up. There we go. And I still have my pawn attacking the h7 pawn with check. And after takes g6, black would have played f takes g6, bishop takes f6. Now I've got a bishop for a pawn. He would have played queen to d7, h3, bishop to f5, bishop takes f5, queen takes f5. If you would have thought about playing queen takes f5 instead, the game would have finished very quickly with queen to g3, check, king to f8, and I would have had control of the G file and E file, and I would have overwhelmed my opponent very quickly. Next, oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, let's go back to the game. My opponent played knight to f6, and like I said, I made the mistake of playing bishop to c2, and black made a second mistake. He played king to g5. A stronger move for him would have been knight to h5, preserving his knight. But he did not play that. He played king to g7, and now I finally, after missing the move twice, or the theme of attacking the g pawn, I finally saw it, and I played f takes g6. The game continued with f takes g6. I played rook to e8, removing the defender of the f6 pawn. That's what the queen does. The queen responds with capturing the rook, and now I played queen takes f6 check. Black retreated to g8, and next move was queen to d7 mate. If after queen to f6, if black would have decided to run with the king, he could have played king to h6, and then the game would have continued bishop to d2, king to h5, and then queen to g5, checkmate. Well, anyway, that's was the game. Like I said, I formed a plan using the weakness of the dark squares. I used my space advantage of my pawns here to kind of cramp him up just a little bit. And the most important idea of this video was reacting to a threat. I reacted to it instead of, I should have looked for a way to counter the threat. And the countering of the threat were the three variations I showed you. The first one was that bishop takes g6. Second time would have been f takes g6. And finally, as I ended the game, again with an f takes g6. So hope you enjoyed. Have a good day, and until next time.